it's you, love. Baby, it's true, love. 'Cause I have been tossing and turning.
What up, YouTube? This your boy KB
and Talika, and you are watching A Brown's World. Today we're going to talk about fighting. And no, not fist fighting. We're going to be talking about how to fight, how to argue the proper way. And ladies, you got to remember, sometimes we got to know when to stop. So let's get into the video.
Let's go.
Okay. So even as Christian couples, we have arguments. Arguments. In any relationship, you have arguments. It's how you fight them out is the problem.
True.
So you have to learn how to fight. You have to know how to fight. So I have some notes here that I jot down. And so we're going to talk about how to fight.
Yep.
All right. So some crazy stuff that most people argue about in the first year of their marriages is basically, I didn't want that. Why did you cook that? Did you leave the toilet seat up again? Why am I picking up after you? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why?
That sounds a lot like us.
Does it?
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely, yeah, especially I come in from work and kick off shoes and like, you can't put your shoes in the closet. I'm like, man, they're not bothering nobody. Their shoes are sitting right there by the door. I got to go back to, wow. So yeah.
Well, ladies, listen, okay? I'm going to cut you off.
Take the road.
Basically, with that type of, we had to learn. We have to learn how to fight, how to argue and argue properly. And one of the things that we see a lot of people do during arguments is they talk over each other. They don't sit down and have a conversation. They talk at each other. And then it sparks more and more and more.
It's like throwing gasoline on a flame.
Exactly. So these are some tips that we have hands down, or these are some tips that we have had to learn throughout our marriage and on how to argue and how to argue the right way.
A lot of the stuff we tell y'all, we've experienced it and everything. So it's not like, oh, we've actually experienced this. So a lot of it is personal stuff that we're telling you that we've been through in the past 7 years of marriage, from the beginning up to now.
Yes. So never avoid a disagreement. Never avoid it. You have to sit down like two adults and talk about it.
Yep.
Because if you don't, what happens, babe?
The turnout is not good.
The turnout is not good.
It's not good.
So sit down. Tip number one, sit down and have a discussion. Never avoid a disagreement. Number two, don't talk at each other. Listen more than you speak, so that you have a understanding of where he's coming from and he understands where you're coming from. So you have to talk to each other, and so that you guys can have your own point of views.
With that, especially to all my men out there, sometimes, man, it's just best just to say, okay, yes, babe, all right, cool. Let your pride down. Like, listen to me. Sometimes let the pride and ego down. Even though you might know you're right, sometimes it's best just to say, look, right. just let it say, okay, yeah, cool. Because at the end of the day, the yelling and the bickering and the fussing, man, it doesn't lead to nothing but a lot of stress and heartache. I mean, just listen to each other. That's the thing. That's what you have 2 years for. Listen to each other, and that's why you have one mouth.
And so the next tip is, don't play the blame game. Stop playing the blame game. It's your fault. You did it. Why?
This is why it happened.
Stop playing the blame game. If you're going to sit down like two adults and talk about the situation, you have to speak together. You've got to talk, communication.
And communication is like your number one biggest thing in your relationship, your marriage. Like that's the number one. That's what your marriage really should be. The foundation of your marriage is communication. Yes, I know, you have love and you love your wife, you love your husband, you wouldn't trade them for the world, but I'm telling you, communication is a big part of, I want to say 95% of your relationship is communication. Like, I might be wrong, but 95% of your relationship is communication, because at the end of the day,
you gotta know how to talk to each other.
You gotta know how to talk. You gotta know how to figure things out, because you can't always go. And one thing about us, we don't like putting other people in our issue. Like if we're dealing with something, we don't want to. It's like, let's figure out how to get this done. So communication, even though you might not
want to talk right then and there, but
or even come to
a common ground. A
common ground. That same moment, you always have tomorrow. And everything. Don't let it slip away. Don't just leave it, and then tomorrow you don't bring it back up. What did we say wrong yesterday? What did I say wrong? Let's figure it out so we can get this squashed and move forward.
Yes, and in even continuing with communication, if you look at the Google or some type of website definition of communication, is a share or the exchange of information. And so we must listen in order to communicate effectively. And so if you're exchanging information, if you're exchanging, that means you're talking, I'm talking. You're talking, I'm talking. So you have to be able to exchange in a proper way. And so the other thing is take turns. Like I just said, exchange, take turns talking. If you learn how to fight the right way, then you will have less unnecessary sit downs.
That is true.
So you have to be able to learn how to fight the right way. Yes. Handle the situation.
There's a time sometimes to fight, and there's a time to stand still and be quiet and just say, you know what? Okay, we're gonna come to this agreement, and that's it.
And that's it. When it's done, it's done. So when we sit down, so like my husband said, if we have to wait till the next day to talk about it, one, we're not going to bed upset. So we have to make sure that that is cleared at the end of the day. So, hey, let's talk to make sure that we're not upset. Let's make sure that everything is clear. We do need to have a conversation that this does not happen again, but at least we're not going to bed upset at each other.
That's true.
So at least that common ground needs to be established. And then tomorrow, if the Lord tarries, if the Lord will, you sit down and have an actual exchange about the situation. And don't bring it back up.
Don't.
Ladies, stop bringing it back up. If it's done, it's done. Just like how God forgave us and God did not bring back up our faults, we have to make sure that that doesn't happen.
It's not all the ladies. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. Stop bringing it back up. It's the man too. I mean, I'm saying we, because guess what? I've done it and everything. I'm being real with y'all. I mean, this is you too. I'm being real with y'all. I've done it. We done squashed things, and she think it's over with, and I'm sitting there and it's still boiling up inside me. And I'm like, well, it wouldn't happen if you didn't do this. And it's like, I thought we were through with it. I'm like, no, I got to get the rest of this off my chest, when it was way done and over with hours ago. So, and
if there was a sit down where there was an exchange, then we would have understood where we both stood at that point in time. So the last tip is spend time together. Spend time. And I'm not talking about any old time. Spend quality time together. There's a difference. I can be here. We'll be here together at the house, and I'm doing my thing, he's doing his thing. That's not spending time together. You have to step away from everything and spend that quality time together. Time that you could remember, time that you guys can reminisce on, time that builds memories, time that you feel important to him, he feels important to you. So quality time is always a good thing in any marriage, any relationship.
Any marriage, any relationship, spending time. And be honest with you, that's, like I said, man, that's the key to a relationship. Is spending quality time, communication. Spend time with your wife. Spend time with your husband. I know we all have our lives. I know we all work. You know, you come in from work, you're tired, you just want to eat, you want to shower. But taking 5-10 minutes out of that just to, you know, chit chat and everything, to see how her day was, to see how his day was. And it really ain't gonna hurt them, because a lot of times they just want to just spend time. They don't want to go out to eat. They don't want to, you know, go shopping. It's just, hey, I just want to lay across the bed. We just lay across the bed sometimes, just lay across the bed and we just chit chat over crazy stuff and everything. A lot of stuff is back when we first got married. We were like, man, we come a long way from where we started at and everything. So yeah, spend quality time. I mean, that's because eventually one day they might not be here, and it's like you're gonna regret you missed out on all that.
Yes. So that is it for our video today, and we want to say thank you guys again for tuning in. We will be doing a posting schedule next week, and so today is May 22nd. Yep. So next Monday we will post our posting schedule. So you guys have a lovely day, and thank you again for tuning in.
If you're new to this channel, go hit the subscribe button, post a comment down below, hit that post notification button, and give us a thumbs up like for this video.
All
Thank
right.
you guys.
Have a great day.